So we're going to look at driver length. What's your fitting experience with driver length before we do any tests? People using longer or short? You're generally going shorter, I would guess.
Well, the trend in the industry has been longer,
yeah,
and that's an attempt to maximize ball speed. So our standard length with TS products is 45.5. That's going to maximize speed for most people, but really we'd like everyone to get fitted and try different lengths, determine what works for you, from increasing ball speed, increasing accuracy. Do you like the feel? So ideally there's no such thing as stock length, it's whatever works for you. That's why we test.
So I'm going to hit some shots with drivers of different lengths, see if there's any difference in any of the data, control, distance, those kind of things. Let's see what happens. This is not my length of driver, but my head.
Correct.
But you're not going to tell me each time.
Right, but you're going to tell us, I'm sure.
Right, I'm not that. I think that's longer.
Well, after the first change, you'll get it.
Yeah, I think this is longer, but not short. Like, that's a good average drive for me. Slightly high, slightly toey. So this is shorter, for definite. This is a Hobbit club. Oh.
So not surprising first swing, there's some adjustment here, but you know, now is where it really gets interesting.
Right, we've got one more club to hit there, just setting it up at the moment. Definitely, I've done this before almost with coach's driver. Shorter one, first one felt longer. Like, it's very hot here, I've been filming all day, so hitting drivers, maybe not the best time to test. But what was interesting, feeling a bit fatigued, I'll tell the guys this in a second when they show me the data, the shorter driver felt like I could keep going more, where the longer driver made my back feel like I had to work a bit harder. And I know obviously we should test maybe when I'm completely fit every time, but if you play golf, you're going to be tired, or more tired on the 15th or on the 14th than you are maybe on the 1st, and how we all warm up or don't as well. You might be stiff on the 1st, 2nd and 3rd warming up. Like, we're not always playing. Certainly recreational golfers, their fitness is changing through the round, isn't it? Now this is interesting because I now don't know the length of this. It feels short again, but not as short as the one before maybe. Oh.
All right, first swing, we gotta have an adjustment.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? That's like left. What do we get then, gentlemen?
So we've got a summary. We tried 3 different shaft lengths with your driver.
Yep.
Kept the head settings the same, the loft the same, the head's the same. We did change the weight so that it have an appropriate swing weight for all the clubs.
Oh, okay, so you're good.
Tried to neutralize swing weight,
yes,
as part of that. So what we saw is a tendency with the 45.5 inch club to the 45 to the 44.5. You move from the right to the center to the left, and then interestingly you compensated. You hit a couple left with the 44.5 and then kept the face open and moved it right. So
okay, well, what's interesting, so let's just backtrack a little bit, because so what was the first club I hit? I think I remember felt really long. Is that right?
Your feel was right. It's 45.5 inches longer than your current standard, so that's why it felt long.
Okay, good. So I was good and feeling. Now the second club to me felt like the Hobbit club.
Probably a reaction.
But I could hear
to how
you
the
both
first
giggling.
We did. Because
in the background, I was thinking, oh, they watch Lord of the Rings too. It wasn't that though, was it? Why were you giggling?
No, it was because it's your normal length today.
Which is funny, that's crazy, isn't it?
Yep.
That felt so short because obviously you had given me one. So the first length is how long?
45.5 inches.
And what would you say is the standard length of a club off a rack if I go into a golf store now?
That would be what 99% of clubs on a rack would be,
and
right
that
there.
felt so long to me.
So it speaks to what you're used to.
Yeah.
Someone else might try that and say that feels just like my driver.
Yeah, oh, good point. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and then the third club was what length?
44.5.
So slightly longer than my one? Shorter, sorry,
Yep.
Shorter.
So we went long,
yeah,
middle,
and
shortest of the
And
three.
you could hear when I got to the last club, I didn't really know where I was anymore.
No.
I couldn't tell you if it was, I felt short, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
So with the longest one, the first one,
mm-hmm.
more right?
More right.
Must have gone further if it's longer, is the theory.
that's the theory, but your club head speed and your ball speed were remarkably constant when hitting all three.
Right, okay. And then resulting distance?
Really the same. So within, we got a little shorter with the 44.5 inch, 6 yards shorter than your average. But between the 45.5 and the 45, we're talking 0.1 yards on average. So essentially the same.
So basically my length and the longer length was the same distance, same club head speed,
Yes.
but harder for me to hit target.
Yes. And the dispersion got a lot tighter at 45 for you. And that's,
At my gaming length.
yes.
So it's interesting, isn't it? So, I mean, where's the average miss for the person watching this video, left or right?
It's right, high toe on the face.
Yeah. And yet, people are very happy to buy longer drivers or standard, I guess. And I mean, I'm instantly losing that a little bit more
Yeah.
to the right.
Well, and it can work for a lot of people. You see, there's the potential for more ball speed with
Yeah.
a longer club. What it comes down to is test it.
Yeah.
Get fit, find out what's right for you. Don't care what stock is, I care what's best for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Interesting. Any other interesting numbers with deliveries? Was that changing?
Attack angle tended to change as the club got shorter. So at the 45.5, neutral and the attack angle 0. And then you were down 1 more degree when we peeled away a 1/2 inch. And then we took away a full inch at 44.5 and you were down 2 degrees. So as the
Wow.
club got shorter, you probably try to cover it a little bit more.
So I tried to play it more like I'd play a fairway or
Yeah.
a hybrid, or even then working into irons.
And for some players that can be a benefit.
Yeah.
Maybe they're too far up on the ball.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They need to go down that other direction. You're on that neutral area, so changing the attack angle wasn't a positive thing.
Yeah. Interesting though, isn't it? How it's affecting. Again, it leads back to your point, Brett, which is we can say what's better for me. We could look at trends. So definitely the trend is that people lose it to the right. My trend is the longer one that you would lose to the right. And I would put some money on that lots of people would lose it to the right with a club that's too long for them. But it still doesn't take away from the messages that they need to go and find their own trend, isn't it? We can all follow trends, but you know, we
The
don't all
average
look
doesn't
good in
matter.
flares, do we?
Exactly.